It's time now for a little latest in local news. In the news, District Attorney Keith Higgins announcing that Levante Tamar Stokes, age 39, of Jesup, pleaded guilty this week to aggravated assault and possession of firearm by a convicted felon in lieu of a criminal jury trial pursuant to a negotiated plea entered in Wayne County Superior Court this week, July 10th, 2023. The case dates back to June 16, 2021, where the Jesup Police Department investigated the incident, which occurred on Cherry Street in downtown Jesup. The defendant, Stokes, owed a sum of money to the victim and was not happy that the victim was telling other people that he owed him money. Stokes called the victim that morning and was to meet him outside of the victim's business. Around 8:20, the victim walked outside to meet Stokes and got into Stokes' vehicle. Once inside the vehicle, Stokes pulled a gun on the victim. As Stokes pulled the trigger, the victim was able to grab the barrel of the gun and push it away while he attempted to get out of the vehicle. First shot grazed the victim's right hand, and the second shot struck his right calf as he was exiting the vehicle. Victim ran down the middle of the street and collapsed as he saw Stokes drive off. According to Wayne County Chief Assistant DA Tiffany Montenegro, the defendant did not believe the victim would come to trial, but subsequently changed his mind, accepted the plea agreement on the day the trial was to start. In line with the negotiated guilty plea, Judge Guy sentenced Stokes to 15 years, 8 to serve in the Georgia Department of Corrections. Jesup City Council met Tuesday evening at City Hall. Big crowd on hand for the meeting. On the agenda, an executive session discussed personnel. They met behind closed doors for 45 minutes, but came back and announced that no action was taken, no decisions in executive session were made. The controversial issue on the agenda last night was the preliminary plat on the South Palm Street subdivision, in which last night the developers said they were looking to develop 25 lots in that area. Building Inspector Don Heron on hand saying everything is in order. He and the city engineer and the Planning and Zoning Board all approved the project, and they state the developer has done everything legally to move ahead with the project. The 3 commissioners agreed, voted to move forward, but with the 5-member board, the city needs 4 votes, and the vote went 3-2 with Commissioner Tim Cockfield and Bill Harvey voting against, as they simply asked it to be tabled for 2 weeks to let landowner Bob Smith, who was on hand opposing the plat, get with the developer and see if a solution could be worked out. Smith says the land line on the plat is not correct, and here was part of Bob Smith talking with the commissioners about the situation.
He's misstating the facts.
Have you had a survey done on that property?
Yes, we've had a survey done. We had a survey done when we bought the property. We had a survey done when the property was sold to those apartment complexes.
And the corner pin where you got surveyed is different than where they put it at?
Yes, that's what we came up here last time for. And then they said they would change it.
Who said they were going to change it? From
The developer.
The developer?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm curious one thing, Mr. Wilkinson. When we did this before...
He wasn't here.
Oh, I know, but is your name Wilkinson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilkinson, when we talked about this before, we were talking about putting out a moratorium on, and everybody got their panties in the water about the moratorium. Oh, it's just going to kill Jesup, right? This had to be done, had to be done today. And that was, golly, almost a year ago. And they just sat on it. And it's kind of like the developer sits on this thing, the city's not dragging their feet, the developer sits on it, and then all of a sudden, okay, let's hurry up and get this done. And then we might sit a while. I mean, if you can wait all these months for no apparent reason, just other than your own convenience, I don't know why you can't wait a couple of more weeks to, let's get this property line resolved, and then we'll vote on the plat.
I can speak on that a little bit, but obviously I wasn't here. Yes, sir.
And do you honestly believe in 2 weeks that this is going to be resolved?
Well, if it's not, we'll put it off for the next meeting. We need to put it off once we're done. They don't seem to be in any hurry. Why should we be in a hurry? They're not in a bit of a hurry.
And why?
Getting in that part of the discussion last night, Commissioner Tim Cockfield again stated he felt the issue should be tabled for the next 2 weeks until a solution could be worked out. They have a meeting in 2 weeks. Bill Harvey agreed. Pamela Schumann said that she couldn't understand what the problem is. She says the city's being told by their building inspector and engineer and attorney that everything's in order for approval. She says she's for progress and growth, and she motioned for the approval of the plat. It was seconded by Shirley Armstrong. They, along with Stanley Todd, voted yes. Todd first asking the attorney, Michael Connor, if we don't vote to approve and they have done everything legally, isn't that a problem? Attorney Michael Connor said that's an issue, but he says Bob Smith, an attorney, most likely knows the issue he's talking about. Once again, the vote did not pass. The vote was 3-2. So at this time, the South Palm Street subdivision once again put on hold until the legal issues are resolved. We'll continue to follow that story as it develops. Commissioners approved the police chief Chris Hamilton's request to purchase 4 new Dodge Chargers. We'll have more in the city meeting on tomorrow's newscast. One item under items with the mayor, Ralph Hickok, says the city has not heard anything from the governor's office regarding the District 5 commissioner seat. So again, at this time, the seat sits vacant. Election in November. Qualifying begins August 21st. Stanley Todd stating again last night under items of commissioners that he will not be a candidate in District 4. He had a lot more comments on the subject, and we'll bring his comments tomorrow here on the local news. The Wayne County School Board met last night. We'll come back, take a look at that meeting right after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Wayne County Board of Education met yesterday afternoon for their monthly board meeting. First on the agenda, Judy Beaver on hand recognizing 8 students who completed the Georgia Youth Apprenticeship class. Each student had to complete 720 work hours. One student recognized as a regional winner. That was Michaela McKinnon. Again, the 8 students recognized at the board meeting last night. Next up on the agenda was the update on the capital outlay projects. School Superintendent Dr. Sean Kelly informed the board that James E. Bacon project will not be completed by the beginning of the school year. Here was the update on that.
At James E. Bacon, the glass for the storefront windows and the final part that's being completed right now has caused us some delays. But the glass has finally arrived and it is being installed. When the folks that install it show up to install the glass. This allows for the enclosure of the space and conditioning of the air, allows for indoor work to progress more rapidly. The ceiling grid and tiling in the area still being completed or is currently being completed. Installation of lights and other fixtures, installing millwork. They're beginning the flooring in the bathroom with the tile, doing strobes at pool stations for fire. We have had the 80% fire marshal inspection, which was done on July the 10th. The 100% fire inspection is scheduled for August. We're also having to work on the relocation of a couple of power poles. The power should be doing that in the next week or so. And the work in the parking lot and the bus loop is nearing completion. And punch list items are being continue to be done in other areas. So this means that we will not be completely finished when school starts. We're shooting for mid-August, maybe the 3rd week of August. They have the 100% fire marshal inspection in mid-August. The delay in the glass is just going to prevent us from finishing in order for schools by the time school starts. That does not prevent us from going to school. It does not prevent kids from having a place to be. It'll be just like the way we finished last year. So we'll be fine. And as it nears completion, I will keep you guys updated. But just a delay we cannot, things we can't control. With the high school, the gym ceiling tiles have all been replaced. That's been completed. Grills for the HVAC in some of the hallways have been done. The units for the hallways have been set and are complete. We're preparing to install the big fans in the entrance space. Wall hung units should begin arriving in mid-August. Pad units for the large spaces are arriving on site, and concrete pad extensions for those units are being prepared. So we're moving forward with the high school HVAC project.
Once again, the James E. Bacon project not going to be completed by the beginning of school. Kelly says they hope the project is completed by the middle of August. As far as the ROTC and the Ag building goes, those projects they stated are in the discussion phases. They did state last night it appears the Ag building will be built across the street from the high school due to a wetlands issue on the side of the road down from the school. The board approved their personnel handbooks and calendars for the next 2 years and approved the finance report for May of 2023. Under personnel, a full page of recommendations, certified recommendations. David Heflin, Wayne County High School, 49%. Natalie Hines, Arthur Williams Middle School. Susan McCrary, Odom Elementary, 49%. Amy Odom, Scriven Elementary School. Ashley Queen, Jesup Elementary. Shania Taylor, Jesup Elementary. Maria Wingate, James E. Bacon. Certified transfer, Lucretia Ard from Scriven Elementary to Central Office. Intervention Support Specialist. James Ellis from James E. Bacon Principal to Wayne County High School, CTAE Teacher. Kristen May from James E. Bacon Teacher to Scriven Elementary Instructional Coach. Certified resignations, Rachel Benjamin, Arthur Williams Middle School. Tony Jones, Wayne County High School. Classified recommendations, Wesley Woods Maintenance. Classified transfer, Karen Pye from James E. Bacon Nurse to Central Office. Kinsley Sims from Central Office Nurse to James E. Bacon Nurse. Classified resignations, Jermaine Jackson, Odom Elementary. Gwen Michael, Wayne County High School. Sharnisha Moore, Jesup Elementary. Nicholas Turner, James E. Bacon. Tamisha Turner, Wayne County High School. And Philip Twiggs, Maintenance. That's a look at your school board meeting from Tuesday. We'll come back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes and news. Reminder, we've got Congressman Buddy Carter tomorrow on the world famous Witch and Bob Show. Again, he's calling in to discuss the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, a bipartisan bill. This is one of the topics he'll discuss tomorrow. That's tomorrow, Congressman Buddy Carter on the world famous Witch and Bob Show tomorrow morning. Hospice Society Georgia is selling tickets to their fundraising event entitled Market to Midnight. It's set for Saturday, August 26th from 7:30 to midnight with the band Six Piece Suits performing. The event takes place at the Wayne County Farmers Market at 533 First Street in Jesup. Tickets are on sale now for $15 each. Night will include some silent auction items, food vendors, dancing, all proceeds benefiting Hospice Society Georgia. Need more information or a ticket, contact Kylie McGregor at 912-588-0080. Arthur Williams Middle School getting ready for their jump start for all incoming sixth graders. That date is set for August 1st from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Arthur Williams Middle School. The school nursing staff reminding parents that there are immunization requirements that must be met before children can attend school in August. Students entering 7th grade next year and all children who are new entrants into a Georgia school in grades 8 through 12 must have received one dose of the Tdap vaccine and one dose of the meningitis vaccine to meet immunization requirements. In addition, all Georgia students 16 years of age or older who are entering or transferring into 11th grade will need proof of a meningitis booster. Immunization requirements for children in all ages can be found on the Wayne County School System's website. And the Wayne County Board of Tourism having a special event on August 5th. It's a back-to-school event entitled Touch a Truck. The event will feature heavy equipment, emergency vehicles, tow trucks, bucket trucks, along with food and information booths where kids can see them up close. The event will be centered around West Walnut Street between North Macon and Northeast Broad Streets. Streets will be closed to vehicles. First hour of the event will be quiet hour for sensory-sensitive children. During this time, no sirens will be used. Visitors are encouraged to shop local businesses in the downtown area for back-to-school supplies. For vendor or booth information about the big event, contact the Wayne County Board of Tourism's office at 912-427-3233. Or for vehicle participation, contact Donnie Ray at 912-424-0376. Again, Touch a Truck set for Saturday, August 5th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in downtown Jesup. And that's going to do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan, have a great day.